what do you think of white people? What is the common stereotype that you have or that you have heard of white folks?
I think they are racist. I think they are very racist. And now the coloreds also try to follow in their footsteps, because a colored will also brush you off if you are darker than him. You know, but it's all about the color. The whiter you are, the more important you feel, or I don't know.
Would you say the experience of hugging or touching a white person is different from the experience of hugging and touching a black person? Is there any difference?
There's no difference. Only, sometimes you feel that the white, they might feel like they don't want to come closer. But those who know, some of them, they don't feel so too, and I don't feel so. I think they are the same human being.
As the youth of today, let us move away from the past. Let us embrace our white brothers. Most of them who are living with today, they are not the ones that colonized our ancestors. It might have been their ancestors, but we are not the ones. So I would advise you then say, we live in harmony as a people united, trying to achieve common good for purpose of society. That is what we need to do.
There is this which is thinking like this, there is those which is thinking like this. It will be like that to the end of the world.
Hello everybody, greetings everybody. Compliments for the new year 2023. This is Erica Munyela. I'm popularly known as Mr. Cool. I call myself King of Speech, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm always excited to be back on your screen. I'm finding myself on the busiest street in Windhoek City here in Namibia, in town basically. And today we are having an exciting topic, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to find out what black Namibians think of the white folks, what black people think of the white people. Throughout my life, I've had bizarre or very interesting opinions from fellow black people, especially here in Namibia, because I can only speak for what I know. Most of them, or we would call them stereotypes, most black people feel that white folks are privileged and that they are arrogant. And from my personal experiences, I've observed that most white people are easily irritable. Once you approach them, they feel like you are invading their personal space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to... We're going to find out from the ordinary Namibians, from the black Namibians, what they feel about white people. Stay tuned. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe and help our community grow. What's your name, sir?
My name is Nikki Katole.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Cabetorere.
I go by the name of Marco Polo.
Who am I speaking to?
I'm Berta Teko.
Mr. Katole, I would like to ask you an exciting topic today. It's sentimental for some people, I believe. What do you think of white people? What is the common stereotype that relates to you when you see or hear about a white person? What comes to, how do you feel about white people?
Okay, personally, when one asked me that kind of question, what do you feel of white people? I would remind you of the underlying word, white people. I view a white person as a fellow human being such as myself, a creature of Christ. Be you a believer or not believer, we are all born through the same way from our mothers, so on and so forth. So I don't view us differently. But I can imagine that some out there then, if you then ask that historically, are we on the same page? We would always seem to incline to close to our cultures where we grew up. You grew up in a black family, you grew up in a black home, being taught black principles. I hate the word black per se. Just being taught your family principles. So you then view others to then say, are they taught the same principles we are taught? But other than that, for me, that is what then differentiates us, the values that we were brought up, depending on where you grew up. I grew up in a cosmopolitan environment. I grew up in a school where it was both black and white kids. So my views are, these are people. We eat the same food, depending on what's on the table. We have the same brains and we can achieve the same. Maybe historical advantages and disadvantages determine our destinies at times. They can determine our destinies at times. But that's not the underlying word, because your potentials are his or her potentials as well. Only difference is he can be disadvantaged to get there faster than you can. But if you work hard and you are determined, we are one people. I don't see myself as black or white. So I view white people as people.
Very interesting views, Mr. Katole. What do you do for a living, ma'am?
I'm a financial advisor.
Oh, wow, exciting. Ms. Cabezorere, we have an exciting topic today, probably sentimental for some people. What do you think of white people? What is the stereotype that you have picked up about the white people, or what do you personally feel about the white race?
I don't have a personal something, which I know some they are good. Like it's just like I'm Herero with another Hereros with other tribe, what you are doing here around in Africa. So white people, some they are good, some they are bad. It's just a person. What can I say? A personal issue, or
Yes.
you know what they have against black person. I don't have anything about that because I know some they are good, some they are bad. It's like us also. We are like that.
What do you do for a living?
I'm unemployed.
Mr. Marco Polo, I'd like to ask you an exciting question. Of, what do you think of white people? What is the common stereotype that you have or that you have heard of white folks?
I think they are racist. I think they are very racist. And now the coloreds also try to follow in their footsteps, because a colored will also brush you off if you are darker than him. But it's all about the color. The whiter you are, the more important you feel, or I don't know.
All right, Miss Berta. Have you ever been up close and personal with a white person? Like, have you ever touched, felt, hugged a white person in your life?
Yes, of course.
Was
So
it?
many of them. Yeah, they in Namibia here in the streets they pass every time they do their, this is a street where many tourists do pass by to pick one or two things.
All right. Would you say the experience of hugging or touching a white person is different from the experience of hugging and touching a black person? Is there any difference?
There's no difference. Only sometimes you feel that the white they might feel like they don't want to come closer, but those who know, some of them they don't feel so too, and I don't feel so. I think they are the same human being.
That's very interesting. I have another question for you. I have a few actually, and thanks for that candid response earlier. Have you ever been up close and personal with a white person? Touched, felt, hugged? Have you had that experience? Have you been up close and personal with a white person?
Okay, no, yes, I have. I have touched, I have handshaked, I have hugged, and I saw no difference. I saw no difference at all. There are people like we are.
Mr. Marco Polo, have you ever been up close and personal with a white person? Have you ever touched, felt, hugged, a white folk?
Yeah, I have. Actually, my ex-girlfriend, she was white.
Is there a particular stereotype about white people that you have picked up in life? A general perspective or general opinion that is held by a lot of people that you have heard about from fellow blacks, especially here in Namibia, because
Yeah, because what I know as my age also, those years they did not even want to communicate with any black person. Even to sit together like this is a problem. It was like white only, black only, those stuff. But nowadays, I see those young ones also, they are coming, they are very good because they are also with the black kids at school. So they are mingled from young age. What can I say? So they are growing up well. It's just some of them. And it will be always like that. There is this which is thinking like this, there is those which is thinking like this. It will be like that to the end of the world. So we don't have to change anything.
We have as Africans, as black people, we coming to terms with the past of slavery and colonialism. How do you feel about colonialism and slavery, Miss Bertra?
When I read from books, when I studied in school, I felt so bad about the way the white treated the blacks. But when my Christian teaching, the belief I have now, I think all humans are the same, and it's not my place to even revenge or feel bad against the whites. We are one.
Wow, that's exciting. I would like to ask you this particularly essential question. Looking at the fact that we have colonialism in the past and slavery. How do you feel about these two terms, colonialism and slavery, which was perpetrated to the black people by the white folks? Is this how does this feel? How does this make you feel?
Look, I was born in an era where the dawn of independence on Namibia had just arrived. So I would not per se say I have gone through or experienced colonialism or slavery. But yet again, through education, through engagements, through various readings, and through dialogue and what you can see in society today, you can tell there was a point in time that the continent, Africa, went through a lot. Slavery in itself was the trading of human beings to do jobs.
Yeah.
Coming from Africa, being taken to various destinations, most of the destinations of the United States of America. Virginia is one state that was taking in a lot of black people. They were being used as cotton, as farm workers on cotton farms. That in itself, these people were dispositioned, a culture and a practice was removed from them. Years and centuries passed. So slavery wasn't good. We don't trade in people, we trade in goods.
Yes.
I sell you a paper, I sell you shoes, but we don't trade in people. We have new concepts such as trafficking in persons. That's trading in people. That's modern day slavery. I will never speak for that. So I will say having an understanding of what trafficking is and having an understanding of where we as a people are coming from and what we want to achieve, I would never encourage slavery onto any person, but as the youth of today, let us move away from the past. Let us embrace our white brothers. Most of them who are living with today, they are not the ones that colonized our ancestors. It might have been their ancestors, but we are not the ones. So I would advise to them say we live in harmony as a people united, trying to achieve common good for purpose of society. That is what we need to do.
Exciting.
Words that our founding father always advocates.
We have something like we have slavery and colonialism in the past, which was perpetrated by the white people towards the blacks. What are your personal feelings towards slavery and colonialism? What do you feel about these two scenarios?
Yeah, but it does not affect. It is really bad. It was bad on those time up to this. But for us, it's not to let it go, man. For how long will we live with those slavery of, like me, I'm a hero. It was the way was when. 04, and we lost almost most of people. And then who care? We just have to go forward. Of who? Now we stay there, slavery and whatever, and then we end up not forgive each other. We will just stay in war till when. So those things happen, and it happened on that issue. And we 70% of how many percent of heroes dies, but we have to go and try to produce other heroes which is coming. So there is no way to do.
Are you aware of the fact that in terms of countries like South Africa, a big majority of their land is owned by the white people? I'm speaking under correction, approximately 70% to 80%. Do you think this is fair to us, the black Africans?
It's not fair at all. They have to come up also. Those people who's having land have to come up. Like here in Namibia, some people they are having lands here, but they are citizens of. They are in Germany. Just there for one season to come hunting or whatever, and then it's all what they are doing. That's not fair, even for themselves. They must think, man. Which are now, let's give back, or even let's do. They must think of every white. I always say every white person. We have to divide what. Because everyone having one big hectare, so they must be 3 in 1 hectare poor. The others they can give to us back. That is fair.
I have another question for you, Mr. Marco Polo. Looking at the fact that we have slavery and colonialism in the past, and slavery and colonialism were both perpetrated by white people on the blacks. How do you feel about slavery and colonialism, by the way?
Well, 400 up to 400 years ago, they came to us with the Bible in the hand, and we had all the land. And they stole from us, they stole our livestock, all our animals, our gold, our diamonds, our natural resources. They took everything and they took it overseas, you know. And up to this day, there has been no what's that word again?
Reparations.
Yes, there has been no reparations, you know. And that's sad, you know, because who knows what might happen tomorrow? What if we black people decide to turn the wheel and, you know, go against the whites? And then there's a war, holy war, black against white. Takikons we sterk. Then we just see who's stronger, you know. Yeah.
So obviously, this is something that you have bitter feelings towards. You have.
No, I don't have bitter feelings. I just feel sorry for them because they've got a very close mentality, you know. And they haven't experienced life to the full as it should be in this modern Namibia, 21st century Namibia. I'm sure they haven't been past Katutura Hospital, you know. They haven't seen that side of town, yet they are living in Windhoek in Namibia. So it doesn't make sense, man. And I'm so happy and I'm glad that I'm not white, you know. Because I feel sorry for them, man. Yeah.
Thanks for your comments, Mr. Marco Polo. One final question, Ms. Berta. What is your special message right now to all the races that are watching? Indians, blacks, Hispanics. What would you like to say to them?
Yeah, we are all God's creatures. And so we just needed to know that before God, we are one. God is looking at us like one person. And so there's no reason why we should say I'm black, I'm white, or I'm this color. I'm Indian, I'm Cameroonian, and you see? So everything, we are just one in front of God. And so we should treat each other with love and dignity.
Wow, that's exciting. One final question. I would like you to give a special message to all the races that are watching right now. What would you like to say to them?
All the races.
All the races of the world that are watching right now.
Let's try to accept each other. Let's try to accept each other. Let's to look what this one need, like in the terms of landman. We have to help each other in that matter, so we cannot start war. If you start with slavery and those things, we will start war again, and then we will having dispute in a country. So better to the white people, really, they must give us a little bit of our country back or land. Hectares back, and then we can live in harmony and peace. Otherwise, these things of some people, the thought of some people, and this one thinking this way, this one thinking this way, we end up starting war again. This is not good.
I have a final question for you. What is your special message? I would like you to give a special message to all the races that are watching right now. What would you like to say to them?
I'd like to know what it feels like to I don't have a message actually. It's fine. Let me not lie. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Marco Polo, thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thank you so much for the interview, man. This is exciting. Thank you very much, Ms. Berta. This is good. Thank you very much, Mr. Katole, for this exciting interview.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much, my brother. Mr. Cool, please subscribe to the channel. Let's view it.